Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing another custom finally, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm sure you can tell from the title, but I'm going to be making a Howliday Draculaura inspired doll, but this time it's going to be Frankie. If you're new here, I'm Nex. I do doll stuff, mostly customs, DIYs, restorations, and restyles. So if you're into that, definitely subscribe. Also, feel free to like, comment, and share. Anyways, so I have Miss Freak du Chic Frankie here. I chose her mostly because of the thick, chunky black streaks in her hair that she has. I thought that would work really perfect for my concept. If you can see the picture here, this is how I drew her. And so yeah, materials. The materials I'm going to be using, I'll put them in the description down below, and then I'll kind of pull them out as I go along with this project. But before I do anything, I'm going to wash up this Frankie. So to start off, I'm removing her factory paint with 100% acetone. I prefer to use this over nail polish remover because nail polish remover is a little harder to work with. It doesn't remove it as easily. Here is Frankie. I washed her up. I removed her face and, rinsed off that acetone just so the plastic doesn't degrade over time. Then I wrapped her up in a sock with some pins. I'm going to prime her face with Mr. Superclear, and this is the kind that I use. And then of course you need your mask and your gloves, and do this outside if you decide to do this. Something extra that I use also is a dry brush just to dust off. And so yeah, I'm gonna take you outside and I'm gonna spray her. Now, after spraying 2 to 3 coats of MSC, I am starting the face up, and I'm using a graphite pencil here. I would recommend just using a regular watercolor pencil, however, as graphite tends to smudge. You'll see that my sketching process kind of changes throughout the video. I end up erasing the eyebrows and redrawing them and changing the eyes a little bit to get the specific look that I'm going for. I'm also starting to draw the lips with a red color pencil, and then if I make any mistakes, I lift it with a kneaded eraser. To darken the line work, I use a wet paintbrush to lift pigment off of the colored pencil. That way I can determine if I like the look before going in with acrylic paint. You can see here that I'm going in with white acrylic paint for the scleras of the eyes. The paint is sort of runny and thin, but it works pretty well for keeping the line work flat and smooth. And then here I'm going in with a watered down dark red acrylic paint for the lips, and at this stage I use this paint to make any changes to the shape of the lips, as I was going for more of a pouty Bratz look. And then at this stage of the face up, I was kind of unhappy with how the bottom of the eyes were looking. I figured out why I didn't like it, and so I just decided to remove it and try again. Finally, I'm going in with black acrylic paint, and then I also added in her catch lights. And then for the blush, I used a watercolor pencil. I scribbled it lightly on her cheeks and then buffed it out with a Q-tip. I also added a little bit of shimmers with some white eyeshadow. I didn't add any glosses for that factory look, but after one last spray of MSC, she's finally done with her face and I can unwrap her. Now for the outfit. I'm starting by making a pattern for the bodysuit using some old Monster High clothes that I had lying around. This proved to be kind of difficult. I had a few mock-ups that didn't work, and so this part was just a lot of trial and error that ended up not working most of the time. And then I remembered I had a Ghouls Roll Frankie that has a bodysuit that I could mimic a little bit more easily, and so I fitted it to this Frankie mannequin and I had it end just below her bust. Now I'm painting it with black and red vertical stripes. And then in order to sew the top of the bodysuit, I got this white strip of fabric, sewed it to the lower striped bodysuit, and then gathered it at the front and sewed it into place. I'm sewing her shrug, and it's essentially a super cropped t-shirt, and it's like a little tube with arm and neck holes. I try it on a doll to adjust the fit. After I add fray check, I cut the front open, I hem it, and then there's my basic shrug. I'm making socks, and they are essentially just little tubes, and they're a lot easier to make when you fit it to the doll. And then I'm just gluing on little swirls of ribbon to the socks. I do the same thing to the sleeves of the shrug. I'm gluing on more little details with fabric tack, such as ribbon trims and little bow details. The footage is a little bit blurry because I zoomed in quite a bit, but I hope you can still see what I'm doing. Now I'm attempting to make her little scarves that drape down, and I use a somewhat sparkly mesh. I trace my patterns onto it, fray check it, and then I add these little snowflakes that I made using 3D fabric paint and then a sandwich bag. I added some ribbon trims off camera just as a last minute decision. I'm adding some rhinestones and nail gems in order to add more detail. Because the socks made the feet a little bit bigger, I had to make some new shoes using polymer clay and craft foam. These are very simple wedges, but I'm starting by painting them black before I paint on the wedge details. I tried starting with a metallic acrylic paint to paint the wedges. I ended up just deciding that it didn't look good, and I painted over it with a dark red and some red nail polish. And then I made these little tiny bows and I just glued them to the toes of the shoes. I made these tiny earrings using beads, earring posts, and nail polish. I made this ornament and I started on a headpiece using some clay and toothpicks. I finished all of these pieces off of camera because I was just kind of playing the designs by ear, but the pieces are all together here and I think they look so cute. I'm starting on her hair now. It's nothing too fancy or complicated, but she has some wrapped framing pieces and then the sides of her hair are curled. Now it's time to assemble her. I really enjoyed making this Frankie doll. It was really fun, and I'm quite proud of how close she turned out to the original concept sketch that I had. There are some things that kind of deviated from it, but overall, I'm very, very happy. What are your thoughts on this doll? I'd love to know in the comment. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe for my next doll custom video, and I'll catch you next time.